Nah, but Drake my brother though. Like that's my boy. So it's like when we bet and gamble, like it's really ain't about no money. It's really about this fun. Family calling, man. I need this. Everybody, like this shit is not right, my nigga.
K Osiris's world, once filled with the glitz and glamour of fame, seems to have taken a dark and unexpected turn. As rumors swirl, a newly released elevator video featuring Osiris and Diddy has sparked wild speculation, leaving fans and industry insiders wondering just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Could this be the piece of evidence that unravels the truth about their relationship? What was once seen as a mentorship between an established mogul and a rising star is now being questioned, with whispers of manipulation, control, and secrets that no one could have predicted. And as more details come to light, the picture being painted is far from pretty.
You in his pool with socks on.
We saw you in his pool with socks on.
We saw you on his plane. How that relationship started? How y'all got y'all close?
Yeah.
Let's backtrack to how it all began for K Osiris. Born Osiris Williams, he burst onto the scene in 2017 with his breakout hit Valentine, a song that quickly went viral, racking up millions of streams and marking him as one of the most promising young artists in the industry. His smooth voice and catchy hooks had people comparing him to some of the greats, and by 2018, he had signed with Def Jam, one of the biggest labels in the business. The following year, he dropped Worth It, a track that not only went triple platinum but also solidified his place as a rising star. Osiris was living the dream, performing for sold-out crowds, hanging with the biggest names in hip-hop, and seemingly on the fast track to superstardom. But as we all know, appearances can be deceiving. Behind the scenes, things were starting to unravel, and fast. While Osiris was enjoying the fame and the perks that came with it, his personal life was spiraling out of control. Financial trouble started to creep in, with stories of him blowing through his first million within months of receiving it. In an interview, he casually admitted to spending a fortune on cars, clothes, and jewelry, not realizing that the money would dry up as quickly as it came. And dry up it did. By 2020, the hits had stopped coming, and his financial problems were becoming more public. He was even called out by fellow artists like Lil Baby and Boozy for owing them money after gambling debt. It was becoming clear that the young artist was in over his head.
So you tell me why should I keep living? I don't get it. Like why y'all saying like y'all would tell me all the time. I'm giving y'all explanations like why.
The low point came when Drake, the king of the industry himself, stepped in to clear a massive debt Osiris owed, not with cash, but with a humiliating performance. Drake gave Osiris two options: pay back the $60,000 he owed or sing Worth It in front of everyone at Drake's mansion. Osiris, desperate to clear his name, chose the latter, turning what could have been a private moment into a viral spectacle. The video of Osiris singing his heart out while Drake and others laughed quickly spread across social media. It was a moment that highlighted just how far Osiris had fallen from the promising young artist he once was. Instead of being known for his music, he was now the punchline of jokes, the guy who had to sing for his supper. But that wasn't the end of Osiris' troubles. Things took a darker turn when rumors began circulating that he had attempted to take his own life. He went on Instagram Live, visibly upset, and began speaking about how his friends in the industry had abandoned him. He named Drake and Lil Baby, specifically saying that neither of them spoke to him anymore and that he felt like a joke. Nobody cares about Osiris, he said, his voice shaking. So why the F do I keep living? It was a heartbreaking moment that sent shockwaves through his fan base, with many offering their support and urging him to seek help. But the damage had been done. Osiris was clearly struggling, and it seemed like no one in the industry was there to help him. Enter Diddy, the legendary music mogul, who has been at the top of the game for decades. Known for his lavish lifestyle and powerful connections, Diddy has always been seen as a mentor to young artists. He's the guy who can make or break careers, and for a while, it seemed like he had taken Osiris under his wing. The two are often seen together, with Diddy offering Osiris advice and guidance on how to navigate the cutthroat world of the music industry. But now, in light of the recent video and the rumors swirling around it, people are beginning to question the true nature of their relationship. The video in question shows Osiris and Diddy in an elevator, and while it might seem innocuous at first glance, those who have watched it closely claim there's something off about the interaction. The body language, the way Osiris seems uncomfortable while Diddy stands close by, it's all leading to speculation that there's more going on than meets the eye. Some are even suggesting that this could be tied to the infamous freak-off parties that Diddy has been rumored to host for years. These parties, which are said to be wild, multi-day events filled with celebrities and plenty of controversial behavior, have always been shrouded in mystery. But now, with Osiris caught up in the mix, people are starting to question whether he was pressured into attending the events and, more disturbingly, if there's footage of him involved in things he never wanted to be a part of. Diddy's parties have always been the stuff of legend. Celebrities from all walks of life have attended, and while most of what happens stays behind closed doors, there have been whispers for years about what really goes on. Some say that these parties are more than just a good time and that Diddy uses them as a way to control the people around him. There have even been claims that he records everything that happens, using it as leverage to keep people in line. If you cross Diddy, the rumor goes, he has the receipts to ruin you. And now, with the release of this new video, people are starting to wonder if Osiris is just the latest victim in a long line of young artists who have fallen under Diddy's spell. As the narrative unfolds, it's becoming clear that K Osiris might have been in way over his head. He entered the industry young, hungry for success, and willing to do whatever it took to make it. But in doing so, he may have found himself tangled up in a world that's far darker than he ever imagined. The rumors surrounding Diddy and his parties, the talk of hidden cameras and questionable behavior, it all points to a much larger issue within the industry. Osiris, desperate for guidance and validation, might have been an easy target for someone like Diddy, who wields immense power and influence. And the timing of all of this couldn't be more suspicious. Just as Osiris was hitting rock bottom, facing financial ruin and public humiliation, he found himself in the orbit of one of the most powerful men in the industry. Was this a coincidence, or was it all part of a larger plan? Some are speculating that Diddy saw an opportunity to manipulate Osiris, offering him a lifeline in exchange for his loyalty. But loyalty to Diddy comes at a price, and if the rumors are to be believed, that price might have been Osiris's freedom and dignity. What's even more troubling is the idea that this isn't an isolated incident. Diddy has a long history of mentoring young artists, and while many have gone on to have successful careers, there are just as many stories of artists who have mysteriously fallen off the map or found themselves embroiled in scandals after working with him. Could it be that Diddy's mentorship comes with strings attached? Are there other young artists out there who have been caught up in similar situations but have been too scared or ashamed to speak out? As more details emerge, it's becoming harder to ignore the possibility that K Osiris isn't the only one who has been affected by Diddy's influence. The rumors about Diddy's parties, his alleged control over young artists, and the idea that he may be using his power to manipulate those around him are all starting to paint a very disturbing picture. And while it's still unclear exactly what went down in that elevator, one thing is for sure. This story is far from over. The music industry has always been a place where power dynamics are at play, with young, hungry artists often at the mercy of those who hold the keys to success. But what's happening with K Osiris and Diddy feels different. It feels darker, more sinister, and as the pieces of the puzzle start to come together, it's becoming clear that this could be just the tip of the iceberg. Osiris, once a promising young artist with the world at his feet, now finds himself in the middle of a scandal that could potentially change the way we view the industry as a whole. As the speculation continues, fans and industry insiders alike are left wondering what really happened between K Osiris and Diddy. Was Osiris just another victim of the power dynamics that have plagued the industry for years? Or is there something even more troubling lurking beneath the surface? The answers to these questions might not come easily, but one thing is clear. K Osiris' story is far from over, and the truth, when it finally comes out, could shake the music world to its core. And that's where things get even more complicated. Because if K Osiris is just one name in a long list of young artists who have been caught up in Diddy's world, then who else could be involved? Could this be the beginning of a much larger scandal, one that exposes not just Diddy, but the entire system that allows powerful figures like him to operate unchecked? The elevator video might just be the first domino to fall, and as more details come to light, the fallout could be catastrophic for the industry. But before we dive into that, we need to take a closer look at the bigger picture. Cyrus isn't the only young artist who has crossed paths with Diddy over the years. In fact, there are several high-profile names that have been linked to the music mogul, and if the rumors are to be believed, they could be facing similar struggles. Let's talk about the other players in this unfolding drama, because as we'll see, K Osiris might just be the tip of the iceberg. If you've been paying attention to the entertainment industry for the past few years, or even decades, you'll notice a recurring pattern. Young artists, fresh into the spotlight, often find themselves entangled with powerful figures, people who can either make or break their careers. But what happens when that power dynamic turns into something more sinister? What happens when the people these artists trust the most, the ones who are supposed to guide them, end up manipulating and exploiting them instead? Let's talk about the bigger picture here. K Osiris might have been the latest name to pop up in this narrative, but he's certainly not the only one. In fact, if you look closely, you'll start to notice that there are other young artists who have crossed paths with Diddy over the years, and their stories are eerily similar. Justin Bieber, Usher, even Cassie. These are just a few of the names that have been linked to Diddy's inner circle, and if the rumors are to be believed, their experiences might not have been as glamorous as they seemed. Let's start with Usher. Remember, Usher was just a minor when he was signed to LawFace Records, and to help him navigate the industry, the label paired him up with none other than CN Diddy Combs. At the time, Diddy was one of the biggest names in the business, and being mentored by him seemed like a dream come true for the young artist. But here's where it gets a little strange. Usher was reportedly sent to live with Diddy in New York, where he was introduced to a lifestyle that, by all accounts, was far too wild for a teenager. In interviews, Usher has alluded to attending parties that were, let's just say, not appropriate for a minor. In one interview with Howard Stern, Usher even talked about how he and Diddy used to wrestle for cornflakes in the mornings, a comment that raised more than a few eyebrows. Now, on the surface, it might sound like harmless fun, but when you dig a little deeper, it starts to feel more like Usher was being exposed to a world he wasn't ready for. And the question that keeps coming up is, why was a minor hanging out at Diddy's parties in the first place? What kind of mentorship was that? It's hard not to wonder if Usher, much like K Osiris, was being groomed into a world where Diddy held all the power, and the young artists around him were just pawns in his game. As Usher grew older, he managed to break free from Diddy's grip, going on to become one of the most successful R&B artists of all time. But the shadow of those early years still lingers. In fact, rumors have swirled for years that Diddy's influence over Usher during that time wasn't just about music, it was about control. And while Usher has never directly accused Diddy of anything inappropriate, the fact that he's remained relatively quiet about that period of his life speaks volumes. It's almost as if there's an unspoken agreement to leave the past in the past, to not dig too deeply into what really went on during those early years. And Usher isn't the only one. Justin Bieber, another young artist who found himself under Diddy's wing, has his own story to tell. When Bieber was still a minor, he was introduced to Diddy through Usher, who had taken Bieber under his wing at the time. Diddy, seeing the potential in the young star, reportedly took Bieber on a 48-hour whirlwind trip that included extravagant gifts and promises of even more extravagance to come. There's even a video of Diddy telling Bieber that he would give him a Ferrari when he turned 16, a moment that raised more than a few alarms among fans and industry insiders. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Diddy was just being generous, right? But here's where things start to get a little murky. Much like with Usher, there are rumors that Diddy's relationship with Bieber wasn't just about mentorship. Some people have speculated that Diddy was trying to pull Bieber into his world, a world where the lines between mentorship and manipulation are often blurred. And while Bieber has never directly spoken out against Diddy, there have been whispers for years that his time with the mogul wasn't as innocent as it seemed. In fact, a TikTok video circulated earlier this year, featuring interviews with various rappers and musicians, all hinting at Diddy's infamous all-men parties. Jamie Foxx, for example, spoke about these parties in a leaked video, raising questions about what really went on behind closed doors. And while there's no concrete evidence to suggest that Bieber was involved in any of these parties, the fact that his name keeps coming up in conversations about Diddy's behavior is enough to raise suspicions. And then there's Cassie. Her story is perhaps the most troubling of all. Cassie was just 19 years old when she signed with Diddy's label, Bad Boy Records, and the two quickly became involved in a romantic relationship. But what started out as a professional and personal partnership soon took a darker turn. In 2023, Cassie filed a civil lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of years of physical and emotional abuse during their relationship. According to the lawsuit, Diddy would force her to engage in disturbing behavior, including what he referred to as freak-offs, wild, multi-day events that allegedly involved other men and were often recorded without the participants' knowledge. Cassie's allegations sent shockwaves through the industry, but what's even more disturbing is that her story isn't unique. Over the years, other women have come forward with similar accusations against Diddy, and while many of these claims have been settled out of court, the pattern is clear. Diddy has a history of using his power and influence to control the people around him, and it seems that K Osiris, Usher, and Bieber may have been caught up in that same web of manipulation. But here's the thing. Diddy's influence doesn't just stop with the people in his immediate circle. Over the years, there have been countless rumors about the lengths he'll go to in order to maintain control over those around him. Some have even suggested that Diddy has hidden cameras in his homes, recording everything that happens at his infamous parties. And if the rumors are true, these recordings are more than just for personal use. They're leverage. If you cross Diddy or if he feels like you're no longer useful to him, he allegedly has the receipts to ruin you. This brings us back to K Osiris. If Diddy really does have hidden cameras in his homes, and if he's been recording everything that goes on at his parties, then it's possible that Osiris was caught up in something much bigger than he ever realized. The elevator video might just be the tip of the iceberg. If there are other recordings out there, recordings that show what really goes on at these parties, then the fallout could be catastrophic, not just for Diddy, but for the entire industry. And let's not forget about the legal implications. Diddy has already faced multiple lawsuits over the years, many of which have been settled quietly out of court. But with more and more people coming forward, it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out. The FBI has reportedly been investigating Diddy's activities for years, and while no charges have been filed yet, the pressure is mounting. If there really are recordings of these parties, and if they show illegal activity, then Diddy could be facing serious legal consequences. But here's where things get even more complicated. Diddy isn't just a powerful figure in the music industry. He's also deeply connected to some of the biggest names in Hollywood, politics, and business. Over the years, he's built an empire that extends far beyond music, and his influence reaches into nearly every corner of the entertainment world. This means that if Diddy goes down, he won't be going down alone. There are other powerful individuals who have attended his infamous parties, and if they're caught up in this scandal as well, it could lead to a domino effect that takes down some of the biggest names in the industry. So, where does this leave K Osiris? Right now, he's in a precarious position. On the one hand, he's still a talented artist with a lot of potential. But on the other hand, he's now caught up in a scandal that could define the rest of his career. If the rumors are true, and if Diddy has been using him as part of a larger scheme of manipulation and control, then Osiris could find himself facing a very difficult decision. Does he speak out and risk everything, or does he stay quiet and hope that the storm passes? It's a situation that no young artist should ever have to face. But sadly, it's one that seems to be all too common in the entertainment industry. The power dynamics at play are often skewed in favor of those at the top, leaving young and vulnerable artists like K Osiris at the mercy of people like Diddy. And while Osiris might be the latest name to surface in this scandal, there's a very real possibility that there are others out there who have been affected in similar ways. As the investigation into Diddy's activities continues and as more details about his parties and the people involved come to light, it's becoming clear that this isn't just about one man's downfall. It's about exposing a system that has allowed powerful individuals to exploit and manipulate young talent for years. And while K Osiris' story might be the catalyst for this reckoning, the consequences could be far-reaching, affecting not just Diddy, but the entire entertainment industry. So, what happens next? That's the question on everyone's mind. Will Diddy finally be held accountable for his actions? Will more artists come forward with their own stories? And perhaps most importantly, will the industry finally take a long, hard look at the way it treats its young talent? One thing's for sure, this is far from over. The elevator video, the lawsuits, the rumors, they're all pieces of a much larger puzzle, and as more pieces fall into place, the true extent of Diddy's influence and control over the industry will be revealed for K Osiris, Usher, Bieber, and countless others. The truth might be the only thing that finally sets them free. And as for the rest of us, well, we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. But one thing's certain, the entertainment industry is about to face a reckoning like never before. And when the dust finally settles, there's no telling who will be left standing. So, what do you think? Could K Osiris be the key to unraveling the truth about Diddy's parties and his control over young artists? Or is this just another case of rumors getting blown out of proportion? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so be sure to leave a comment below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because you won't want to miss the next chapter in this unfolding drama.